You would think, with how much Michelle Valjean loves the Joey character because she has a huge crush on John Lindstrom, that if Joey's sister comes onto the show, it's going to be a bigger character. What's up, fellow Beyond the Gates viewers? Here to talk about today's Thursday episode as the show returned from its little soccer break. It returned with an episode that was, at least, I feel like at least there was some storyline movement in one particular story. That story being the Impaler. My problem with that, though, is like, if this is our big May sweep storyline, if this is the storyline in May that's actually going to have movement, on one hand, it's good because I'll be glad when it's over. But on the other hand, I don't care about the storyline. They have not built up this storyline well whatsoever. But let's talk about it regardless. Let's actually start with Jacob yapping to meet with Smitty again. And Smitty did go to the hotel room. However, he was being followed by Randy because Joey started today's episode with a letter with his name on it when Randy came in about his assignment. And Joey has Randy following Smitty because Joey overheard Martin and Smitty talking about how Smitty doesn't want security and all of that. So Joey made sure to tell Randy that he wants to know what Smitty is looking for. And then Joey picked up his phone and called someone. And it cut to Leah on the phone being told that eyes are on them. So the show definitely tried to make it seem like Joey was calling Leah, or it was some sort of fake out by the show. I don't know how I feel about if it's Joey being the Impaler, because like, we get it. He's already the big villain on the show right now, I guess, because he's ahead of Randy and Randy's working with Haley, and they've made Leslie a character with no real motivation. So Joey is like our main villain, but do you have to make him the Impaler too? Is this supposed to make us see Joey as a really even more deadly person? But it's weird because I feel like we're coming off of months of the show trying to soften Joey thanks to Trash. So very confusing there, but I'll see it play out. And if Joey is the big bad, I will talk about my problems with that if it does happen. Anyway, like I said, Randy followed Smitty to Jacob's apartment. And then Jacob and Smitty were worried because there's been no more orders lately. He hasn't been ordered to pick anything up the last few days. And then Jacob was getting text about the next move, and he was telling Smitty that it doesn't feel right, which we'll circle back to. Meanwhile, with Joey, I guess I can say that Trash started the episode with Haley. So she talked to Haley about how she knew about the penthouse that Haley was going to try and get for Lynette, but Lynette has disappeared. And Haley told Vanessa that she nor Bill are still interested in the penthouse. She was just feeling obligated to Lynette since the mugging and all of that. Randy and Haley were kind of celebrating that things are going their way, but I don't understand how things can ever go their way if they're never going to actually kill Bill. Isn't that supposed to be the main plot that has seemingly disappeared? And yeah, we've seen Haley poison Bill a couple times lately, but really we've only seen her poison Bill like once or twice over the past month. So that storyline continues to move at a snail pace. We'll get back to Bill though. Then Vanessa went to go see Joey, but before she arrived, he was reading that letter that he had at the beginning of the episode. The letter was saying that it was someone telling Joey that they have to go or they will never become the woman she was destined to be, and that she loves Joey. Vanessa came into Joey lost in thought, saw him putting the letter away. Of course, Vanessa was a little jealous about it at first because, you know, her entire life revolves around Joey now. And she was nosy, wanted to know what the letter was. He said the letter was from his sister Heather before she left town. I guess it was the anniversary of that happening. Vanessa wanted him to talk about her more. This is just me assuming that his sister is on the way. And I don't think it's Leah because she's not a character that's supposed to be on long term. You would think with how much Michelle Valjean loves the Joey character because she has a huge crush on John Lindstrom, that if Joey's sister comes onto the show, it's going to be a bigger character. It could maybe be Ashley Jones, if that's her name, coming over from Bold and the Beautiful. I don't know, but I'm assuming we're going to see Joey's sister sooner rather than later. Leah went to go see Nicole to talk to her about the computer that was compromised. Carlton ended up interrupting the Nicole and Leah conversation, and it got a little awkward. And then Carlton was talking to Nicole about how he wants to take her go-karting. Go-karting. So, like, they're already writing this love triangle like they're a bunch of high schoolers. And Carlton's big date idea is go-karting. I mean, it's almost... The jokes write themselves. Like, how can they be writing these grown adults who gotta be around 50 or pushing 50 like they're high schoolers? But yet we're supposed to sit here and take that love triangle seriously. Please. Anyway, Nicole and Carlton went on a date. Naomi and Ashley were talking about Grayson. Ashley was talking about how she cares about Grayson and wants to do something to help him. This is the man that she cares about. They're really writing Ashley and Grayson like they really super care about each other when their whole relationship is just that they've had sex a few times. That has been the build to this Ashley and Grayson relationship. But I guess we're really supposed to be drawn in like they're some super couple or something with the way they've been writing their scenes for the past week. Grayson, meanwhile, went to the hospital and pulled Leah aside. We at least got some fire in Grayson that I did enjoy. He told her that he's not playing the games. She realized that he got the warning, which was a picture of Ashley. Grayson is upset and says that Leah has gone too far and asked if Leah was following Ashley and took the picture herself or if it was someone else. Leah did allude to the fact that their employers are actually monsters and Grayson can't get out of this situation now. So once again, they're alluding that the Impaler is a very dangerous person. Naomi wanted to call Smitty when she was chatting with Ashley, but Grayson ended up coming over, demanding that Ashley pack up so they can head out. Ashley wants to know what's going on. If she's supposed to trust him, he needs to say what's going on. He showed Ashley a picture of her that he got on his phone saying that it's a threat. And then he freaks out that Ashley told Naomi about the stabbing. And Grayson brought up Naomi's straight-laced husband and basically alluded to the fact that Jacob is a dirty cop. Ashley doesn't want to go with Grayson because why would she? Because Grayson is acting quite over the top about this. I'm glad that Ashley at least finally said what I've been waiting for her to say, saying that she won't stand for a man in her life, lying to her, not again, because that's how the story should have been going all along after the way they wrote the Ashley and Derek storyline when he lied about the fact that he could walk again. And it seems like Ashley broke things off with Grayson, whatever was on with them, I don't even know, and said that she won't be in trouble if he's gone because they're only using pictures of her to get to Grayson and have leverage over him. When Grayson left, Naomi called Jacob to let him know that if Grayson is involved with whatever he's doing, they have a problem because Ashley is being watched and Grayson is really spooked and was trying to convince Ashley to leave. Naomi talked about the picture and said that she wasn't in the picture, but when the picture was taken of Ashley, she was with Ashley, and so she could be watched as well. So that made Jacob finally want to call his father, the chief of police, that if he was actually doing good undercover work, he would probably be keeping Elon in the loop. And then Ashley decides that she's going to go for her shift at the hospital, even though there was this whole thing with Grayson, and Grayson was trying to tell her to be safe. But another reason why the Impaler storyline hasn't been good is I feel like every single person in it is being written as stupid. So this was a very stupid decision of Ashley's to go do her shift. And then Jacob was talking to Smitty about how this whole thing goes further than they think, and they got to keep doing it because he wants to take everyone down. But we have not heard a real coherent plan of Jacob's about how he plans on taking this whole thing down. Then Grayson came over, knocked on the door hard, I don't really know how Grayson knew that Jacob was in that hotel room. I don't remember them meeting there, but I could be wrong. And then Jacob asks Grayson what's up. Grayson says that Jacob has been playing him and he knows that Jacob is undercover. But I've been saying all along that Grayson should know this. They did a terrible job of depicting that Jacob was a dirty cop like Grayson thought he would. If Grayson had any sense, he would have known months ago or a month ago when this whole thing started with Grayson involved with Jacob, that Jacob was actually undercover. But like I just said, they seem to be writing every character in this Impaler storyline as stupid. And Jacob and Smitty should be ashamed of themselves because they have done this terrible job. They've been so sloppy. Both characters trying to prove themselves, but they're the reason that all these characters are now in danger. The only other thing that happened today was Bill and Tomas talking about some class action lawsuit, and then about Lynette, and Kat came in because she has a lead on Lynette. And Bill tells Kat that she has too much time on her hands and she shouldn't be snooping about Lynette. Bill was telling Kat it's not her place to do this, but Kat said she had some solid info on Lynette and could get more from Leah. Bill tried to tell her that her snooping days are over, and Tomas was speaking for Kat, being like, "We understand what you're saying, Bill." But Kat just wants to prove how sketchy Lynette is. Kat was saying, however, that she hears what Bill and Tomas are saying, but then alone with Tomas, she told him that she doesn't agree. I was hoping these scenes with Kat would have Bill have some brain cells back, because the last time he had a talk with Kat about this, that's when he actually had some resurgence of brain cells. But that didn't happen. Instead, he was just stupid again. And as I was saying during the watch along today, I can't stand Kat scenes with Tomas anymore. They're so boring. And I can't stand the rivalry with Eva. It's so over. It just should be over because it's beyond stale. But I enjoy the Kat and Bill scenes, but I don't know if today's scenes hit. And then Haley came drunk with Bill, and they made it seem like she's been drinking more, and Bill says it's not an affair, but Bill thinks that she is overcompensating because of Lynette. I don't know. They really may have gone a little too long with this Bill and Haley storyline. They insist on stretching it out. Meanwhile, the Impaler storyline has movement in it when it's only been going on a few months. Don't get me wrong. I want the Impaler storyline to end because it has not been good. But can we get somewhere with these storylines that have been going on forever? Please.